Welcome. I want to give you 5 AI tips to increase your brand mentions on LLMs. In other words, 5 tips for LLM SEO, or the so-called GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. In other words, I'm going to teach you 5 actionable tips you can implement starting today to increase the number of times your brand is cited or mentioned in ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, all these LLMs, okay? Now, before we go over the tips, one thing that's very important that I made here clear is that GEO performance, so how well you perform on, let's go over, for example, how well you perform right here on your AI citations, right, is heavily correlated with how well you perform on the classic SEO. So how well you rank on Bing and Google, right, directly translates to the number of mentions or citations you get on the LLMs. All this say that if you don't have a good SEO, all these are sort of quite pointless, okay? So make sure your SEO is good before you move into the GEO. And I hate these terms because they're all the same thing. It's all SEO, you're optimizing for search engines, right? All ChatGPT is sort of a search engine. So if we compare, for example, Google right here, let's say this is Google, right, where you input something, right, and it gives you like result 1, a blog post, result 2, a YouTube video, result 3, a Reddit forum, right, and based off of your search, you click the link, you read the blog post, you click the thing, you watch the YouTube video, you click the Reddit one, you skim through the Reddit comments, right, and based off of this, you, like, in your mind, you make up your answer of whatever you want to buy or whatever you want to do with it, the search intent. While on ChatGPT, you give it a prompt, it gives you an answer. Give it a prompt, gives you an answer, sort of like a little funnel until you have your answer, your perfect answer at the end of the funnel. And the only difference is that here, right here, the AI, like, it reads the blog post, it watches the video, reads the Reddit comments for you, and gives you an answer in like a little, like, short paragraph. That's all it is. This is basically the difference, but they're both search engines, okay, to some extent. Now, with all that out of the way, and by the way, if you want to learn how to do SEO, the classic SEO, I'll leave a bunch of free courses down below. Like, there's a 5-hour one, there's a 3-hour one. I'll leave them all in the description, so don't worry about it, because again, it's very important. Now, with that all the way, excuse me, let's go over the first tip. Okay, which is, most likely you know this by now, but I think I want to mention, I want to show you a couple of examples. Syndicate to social. LLMs love social. Let me show you a couple of examples, right? So if I go here into Perplexity and, for example, I give it this prompt, best AI auto-blogging SEO tool, whatever, right? Of course, we show up right here, Arvow, right here. But there's also, if you go to sources, right, where it went and found all this info, yes, it was websites, but you'll see here as well, there you go, that says Reddit, right, which is a social network, right? You'll see, for example, YouTube as well. Whereas YouTube should be around here. Let's see, YouTube. There you go, YouTube right here, okay? Our site again, and there's LinkedIn, there's a lot more. So again, all these LLMs are doing is they're looking for, based off of your search prompt, looking for potentially anything that can help them satisfy the search intent of your search prompt the best they can. Just like with Google, right? When you search something, right, you search for best dog collars, Google knows not to show you like cars, right? Google needs and wants to show you the most relevant results. That's the same thing LLMs want to do. They want to show you and they want to satisfy the search intent of your search prompt the best they can. So they search all throughout the web. Your site, competitor sites, LinkedIn, Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, they search all everywhere and anywhere, even review sites, okay? So it's very important that you don't just hide your information in your sites. Yes, it's very important to produce content, and it's going to be one of the tips right here as well. Produce content that satisfies the search intent, but also syndicate that content to your Twitter page, because Grok, for example, which is Twitter's AI engine or LLM, whatever, right? They also heavily cite tweets. And I mentioned this before, all these LLMs are a bit biased, right? Grok, again, which is owned by Twitter, well, a lot of the sources that it cites are X posts or Twitter posts, right? GPT, which is owned by Microsoft, which owns Bing, right? There's a high correlation between how well you rank on Bing, and the number, or how well you're cited in ChatGPT. Now, granted, there's a high correlation between Google rankings and Bing rankings, so I mean, do with that what you will. Point being is that all these LLMs are a bit biased, not towards information necessarily, but towards where they get the information and the way they put in each source of that information. So Grok, for example, puts a lot of weight on tweets, and you'll see, if you use Grok, you'll see that in the citations it appears, hey, I found this tweet about it, right? Now, that's the very first thing, and syndicate yourself to social, because these LMs will search social. So an actionable tip right now, well, take all your blog posts, right, or any page on your site. It doesn't have to be a blog post, if you're like a software business like myself, where you can just go onto your site to the feature pages and take that feature page, screenshot it, or just copy it, post it in ChatGPT and say, hey, listen, convert this page, the info on this page, the knowledge on this page into a LinkedIn post, into a Twitter post, right? And then take that and post it on your Twitter page, right? This is what we do, for example, if you go to Twitter. Let me just go to our branded page, arvow.com or arvow.com, right? I syndicate a lot of our videos to Twitter, right? I upload them right here directly. I syndicate some of our blog posts to here, right? Again, they don't get a lot of views, a lot of interactions. Doesn't matter, right? I mentioned this yesterday, I think, in a video where I don't mind if no humans watch this. I don't care. I don't care if no humans watch this. If robots watch this, robots go in, watch the video, read the tweet, right? And a human goes into ChatGPT and asks it for whatever, it doesn't really matter, right? Because this robot read the tweet, watched the video, it's going to give the human the answer. Hopefully this is making sense. So right now, if I just go here on Perplexity, right, I didn't go in and read all the stuff on these sites. The AI did, right? And it's giving me the information in a concise manner. So I don't mind the humans didn't go to my site, because humans now are using robots to do that work for them. Okay, so don't worry too much if your tweets don't get any views or whatever. It doesn't matter, right? Point being is that you need to syndicate so that these LLMs can pick you up, and you can increase the likelihood of being picked up because you're spread all across socials, your sites, etc. Okay, so that's very important. Please do that right now. Now, the second tip, is which I also want to show you an example of, is one thing that I've talked about before in the past, which is create alternative pages. And here's exactly what I mean by this. So if we go here, for example, into Perplexity, right, you'll see that I just asked it best AI, SEO tool, whatever, right? Some of the citations it gives me right here, in Grok, which the prompt was, I need a tool that allows me to automatically post SEO content to my WordPress blog, whatever, right? Gave me a couple of them. You'll see that even when it's cited a competitor of ours, for example, let's see here, Zapier is not really a competitor, but right here, you see that the source is us. This is a blog post on my site. If I open this up right here, this is us, Arvow, talking about the competitor, okay? And if you keep on going, right here, another example, Content Suite. I don't know who these guys are, but surely they're a competitor of ours, right? Right here, well, looky here. We show up, right? So even when we're talking about competitors with, again, these so-called alternative pages right here, build in-depth alternative pages. The reason why this is important, yes, these rank on Google, these are great, yes, but they are also cited in these LLMs. Not only when they're mentioning your brand, so Arvow right here, of course, we mention our own brand, right? But these pages cited 2 more times, right? So even when they talk about competitors, they cite our source, right? So the info is coming from our source right here, right? This right here is coming from our source right here. Now, granted, if they don't learn more, well, right now they're on my site. I can retarget them with ads if I want. And they read the 9 tools, right? The first one is, of course, let's see here, where is it? First one is first one is us. Then there's the other 9, which is Zapier, should be somewhere around here. Then there's a call to action right here. There's a call to action right here. So people are being prompted to go to our site. These AI-based citations from these LLMs are based off of the info I built. So it's very important to build these alternative pages, okay? Now, I want to play a clip from video I recorded like a while back, going a bit more in depth and give you some more tangible tips on how to do this. So I'm going to play the clip right now, and I'll be right back. Alternative pages, well, similar to this, right? But the thing is that you're going to be targeting keywords that are alternative. So, for example, Slack alternative, okay? Or competitor 1, your competitor, alternative, okay? And so someone searching for your competitor's name, alternative, well, they most likely tried your competitor, so they paid money for it. And they didn't like it for some reason. And they're actively looking for an alternative. So this is insane. The intent of buying here is through the roof again. Again, it's just like in the comparison pages, the keywords alternative pages rank for are for super high buying intent. Again, look at what we said before. Super high buying intent is what you want to go for, okay? And then what you want to do, of course, is, again, talk about the competitor, what they do, what they don't do, their features, their pricing. And again, you don't do this just because. You do this, you talk about their pricing, their features, their goods, their don'ts, their best practices, because by talking about this stuff, you make this article and this page relevant for all these keywords, making it rank for a bunch of these keywords. You're making it rank for competitor 1 pricing, or competitor 1 feature XYZ, or does competitor 1 do XYZ. So you're going to notice that all these pages are going to rank for a bunch of these competitor brand name related keywords. But mostly, of course, for the alternative keyword. Again, mega valuable. Make sure that this page looks great. And then, of course, you cleverly introduce your solution. So they're looking for an alternative. So you explain why your solution is a better alternative for them right here. It's because maybe they're lacking this feature. Maybe because their pricing is a bit too high for SMBs, right? And then that's where you plug yourself in, okay? Now, a little quick trick here. You can also do your SaaS alternative. And you might be asking, why would I do alternative pages for my own SaaS? Well, because you want to be ranking for this keyword. You don't want your competitors to be ranking for your SaaS name alternative, right? You want to be ranking for that keyword. And so what you do with this is the page you build out is you talk about your SaaS and say, hey, listen, there's not actually a better alternative for this issue. We are the best one. That being said, you can try this cheaper version, but still has all these drawbacks. Hopefully it's making sense, right? Again, the reason why you create a page targeting this keyword is because you actually want to rank for this keyword. You don't want to allow your competitors to do the same thing you're doing to them, okay? There you go. So hopefully me showing you that clip plus showing you actual live examples of other brands being cited from the content we wrote will make you want to write and build out these alternative pages because it's very, very important, okay? Now, third is target non-English speaking markets. Now, I made a video on this. Look at this. I'll have to add the URL, but these are a US operating business, okay? They mainly target, their main customer lives in the USA, okay? But you'll notice something interesting, which is, again, most traffic comes from the US because they're targeting US customers, but all these countries, what do they have in common? Mexico, Peru, Colombia, Bolivia, Spain, Chile, I think this is Chile, I think this is Chile, Ecuador, Argentina. So what do they all have in common? Well, they're all Spanish-speaking countries. Now, this is interesting because these guys, again, they are a US-based business, right? But US is a big country. A lot of people in the US speak Spanish. And I've made videos about this before, like, but targeting non-English speaking customers is insanely valuable because nobody does it, or very few people do it. So what these guys did, and you can see here, they're actually a customer of ours, right? They use our software right here to produce content. And I mentioned this software a lot. Again, this is my software. I'm 100% biased, but if you're doing SEO and you're not using this software, again, just gonna get left behind because this is the best one. Again, I'm fully biased. If you buy this, I make money. Regardless, they started with us, I think around here, started producing content in Spanish, and the traffic just skyrocketed. This is a high ticket niche. What I mean by this is that if you want to buy, or I guess rent, whatever it is that these guys are selling, it's 5 to 10K minimum. Point being is that this traffic, this might seem small, but they only need like 1 or 2 people to buy every single month to make a lot of money. And I won't dive too deep into this, but the most important thing isn't traffic. Traffic is a vanity metric. What you want to aim for is buying intent. So what's the intent of the people searching for these keywords? What's the intent of this traffic? Is it bottom of the funnel? Is it where can I buy XYZ now? Or is it what's my, I don't know, something super top of the funnel, right? I give this example all the time, but like if I have an iPhone repair shop, people come into my shop, but they first come into my website could be ranking for keywords like how to repair an iPhone, but it could also be ranking for keywords like where or how much, right? The keywords where or how much have way more high buying intent than how. So if I'm looking for how to repair my iPhone, most likely I want to do it myself. I don't want to pay someone to do it for me. While if I'm searching for where, how much, maybe most likely I want to pay someone else to do it for me. So that's the point of buying intent over traffic. But again, I spoke about this before. If you want to learn a bit more about this in depth, again, go watch the free SEO courses I have down below in the description, okay? Point being here is that they produce content in Spanish even though they're in the US, okay? Now, targeting non-English speaking markets, right? The AI, the LLMs, and I don't have enough data to back this up. This is what I see for some of our clients, some of the people who use our software, Arvow, is that LLMs, and this makes sense, have priority in citations or mentions over translated content. So you can produce content in English and the LLMs know how to read that and translate it. So if I go here to LLMs and ask something in Spanish or in Portuguese or in Greek, wherever, right, the LLM will answer in the same language that I just prompted in. But the citations could be in English. So it's reading the English citations, translating them into Spanish, whatever, and giving me the answer. That being said, what I see is that if the citations are originally in the language that I'm prompting the LLM in, they have a level of priority that's higher. Hopefully that made sense. And so what I mean by this, and the reason why they're growing, they're seeing an increase in, and this is super early, right? This is super early. They're seeing an increase in citations because they're targeting markets that are less competitive. There's English, they're Spanish speaking. That being said, in the US, the country with the highest buying power, right? And because their content is native in Spanish, the keywords they rank for, the mentions they're cited for, are increasing at a rate and are higher than if they were to have their content competing in the English markets, right? And trying to have it translated off of a prompt someone searches for to have that content be mentioned. Hopefully that wasn't very confusing. Hopefully that made sense. Point being is that if you're targeting international-based markets, well, that's a good thing that you're producing content in not English. Let me know if you have any questions. Drop the comments below in the description in the comment section. If you have any specific questions, I'll answer them. But hopefully that made sense. Okay. I know I spoke a bit faster, but I don't want to waste your time. Fourth, build more backlinks. I cannot say this enough. Like the amount of people that get in touch with me every single day saying, "Hey, Vasco, why am I not ranking, etc." And I look at their sites and I see they're doing a great job with their SEO, their GEO, but they're just not building enough backlinks, right? And I spoke about this before. Like SEO is made out of 3 pillars, right? On-page SEO, off-page SEO, and technical SEO. Again, free courses on all these down below. Technical SEO is like schema markup, site speed, meta tags, canonicals, all this boring stuff, image, alt text, whatever. On-page SEO is what you write, what's on the page, and off-page SEO is backlinks, building backlinks. If you just do on-page and technical SEO, it's going to be very, very hard to succeed in SEO, thus very hard to succeed in GEO, okay? So you have to tackle all 3. And off-page basically means building backlinks. Now, please go watch this and just copy it. You'll learn exactly how I build backlinks, which by the way, the links that I teach you how to build on these 2 videos are the exact same ones as if you go here to my site, click purchase backlinks, that I sell here for, I think, $200 a pop. So yeah, there you go. So I'll teach you exactly step by step how to build these backlinks that deliver the results that I'll plaster some results here on the screen that you see here. All these results are based off of the backlinks we built for these clients, which are the same backlinks that I teach you how to build in the video that I just showed you before, which are the exact same backlinks that you can build, or you can have me build if you don't have time, if you buy them here. So go watch that, it's very important. Build more backlinks. Most likely if you're watching this, you lack backlinks. So go out and build more backlinks, not just more, but high quality ones, okay? Very important. So again, there you go. Again, I'll leave links for all these tutorials on how to build backlinks down below in the description, okay? And 5, but not least, is use AI, man. Use AI in your SEO workflows. For example, Arvow. Again, I say this all the time. This is not a magic tool. First thing, this is my tool. If you buy it, I make money. Second thing, this is not a magic tool, right? Anything and everything this does, you can do manually. But the thing is that with AI, why would you want to do that when you can just do it with AI and it just saves you a ton of time? Let me show you just a few examples. If I go here and I type in gardening, right? This right here was all done with AI, right? All this. Could you do this manually? Could you write the article? Could you put the images? Could you put in the videos? Could you create the internal links? Could you create the external links? Could you do all this stuff manually? 1,000%, you could. But this was done in like 10 seconds with just a few prompts, right? The AI wrote the video, wrote the article about gardening tips in arid soils. It made sure that the in-article images were in accordance to what the article is about, gardening in arid soils. It made sure to go on YouTube and find a video that would be relevant to post here, and the video is titled, desert gardening, so the video is relevant. Made sure to add internal links, right? Internal links to other pages on my site. External links to external authoritative sources on other sources, right? On other sites, All this done with AI. Again, could you do this manually? Of course, but just a bit at a time. You can just click here to publish articles straight to your site, because this allows you to have a bunch of integrations right here. We integrate all these CMSs. Again, my goal is not to sell you on this. My goal is just to tell you, hey, listen, use AI. Even if it's just ChatGPT, just use some sort of AI. And one more thing is that, again, don't need to use our AI, but just look at these. These are all case studies, by the way, of people who are using AI, in specific AI, of course. But my point is that they're achieving the results so fast, or this fast, because they're using AI. So literally, this guy went from 0 to 4K a month in 90 days. And then there's the case study right here, by the way, if you want to watch it. So you can go out and watch it. I reveal as much as I can. Again, 24 hours. This one is insane. This one is a follow-up of this one, I think. So again, all these guys were able to achieve these insane results this fast because they're using AI. And by the way, again, don't just focus on English-speaking markets. These guys focusing on the French markets, they're so untapped, man. It's insane. Like the non-English-speaking markets are so untapped. French, Portuguese, Spanish. It's so easy to rank on there. So easy, or easier, I guess. So again, my last tip is just to use AI. Again, you don't need to use my AI. I think mine is the best. Again, I'm fully biased, but there you go. So these are my 5 tips. Now, again, if you're still a bit confused and you want a bit more training, please go watch the video that I'll put up right here. This will give you a bit more context and be a bit more in depth on how to do all this stuff. And if you could do me a huge favor in the comments, LLM SEO in the comments, that'll be amazing. It will help me have YouTube push this video to more people for the algorithm. So that's my only favor for this free stuff. Please comment the words LLM SEO. Go watch this right here. And if you want to give it a go at Arvow, well, you can give it a go for free. If you want a coupon code, just go here and say, hey, I want a coupon code. Vasco told me I could get a coupon code. The guys will hook you up with the coupon code. That's it. Thank you so much. Watch this and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.